let's first go across to what happened today at the markets, because it was a hugely volatile day of trade for the markets. Sakshi, at one time markets went up by over 1,000 points, then down by over 1,000 points. So lots of factors there today, including market linked debenture tax as well. And just before we go across to looking specifically at the markets, Dr. Sinha, if you could come in, your take. Now, you've heard the two sides, as they were, of the story, but there's so many other sides to it. So just as an impartial observer here, what are the big positives and negatives of this budget?
So I'll focus on a couple of things that are important to us as investors. One of them is that I think India's debt to GDP is quite low as compared to other markets. The macro stability in India is far better than we've seen anywhere else. Well, we are not growing at 7-8%, but even at 6 point some percent, we are still the fastest growing economy. And then when you contrast that to what's happening in China and all the other large EMs, India looks really good. One of the problems, of course, is that we don't have enough capacity that has been added over the years. And all the foreign companies that I speak to or am associated with, they are all looking to India to add capacity, outsource more jobs, outsource more capacity, get more sourcing from India. But our companies have not invested in that capacity expansion over the last few years. So to this, and now they're beginning to. So we are seeing private sector capex shoot up, but to the extent that the government infrastructure also keeps up pace with it, that's what we're seeing in the budget is that they are seeking to keep up with that pace. And to add to that is, we don't have enough skilled people. So even if we have all these jobs that are coming to India, or that comes with our growth, and people, both people talked about unemployment, Mr. Sitharaman talked about unemployment. Part of the problem is the wage, the mismatch of skills.
Right. So let me ask you this, you were talking about the GDP, you alluded to that. Now, debt as a percentage of GDP in 2015 was at 66.6%. That's gone up substantially to just under 88%. And we have high interest rates. So our debt burden, obviously in taking care of that interest, is huge. So isn't that a problem, that debt as a percentage of GDP in India is a problem?
Well, it has come down if you go back longer periods of time and compared to other economies.
It's now at 87.6%.
It was actually at
2015 it was 66.6. It's now gone up.
No, I don't know if you have, it depends on what numbers you're looking at. The numbers I looked at, that it has actually come down over a 10-year period. So I guess it's very sensitive to what time period you look at, but you're also accounting for a COVID period where all governments had to take on debt to stimulate their economies. So if you adjust for that, I think the debt to GDP actually has not gone up.
Okay.